Hi, my name is CWTC Saqibi and welcome to our CWTC Get Connected community podcast to share experiences, promote services and networking and great opportunities available for residents of Oldham. Willpower, often described as the ability to control impulses and stay focused on long-term goals, plays a crucial role in achieving success and overcoming obstacles. By harnessing the inner strength and exercising self-control, individuals can navigate obstacles, stay focused on their aspirations, and realize their fullest potential. We are absolutely delighted and honoured to invite a world-class adventurer and Deputy Head for St. Joseph's RC Primary School, Shaw in Oldham, whose willpower is so great, it will help us to understand what does willpower actually means and how we can go forward. Please welcome to our CWTC podcast studio, Steve Hill, who also has an MBE. Steve, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me along this evening.
Hope you're not tired.
No, long day at school, but I'm fine. I've got good stamina, as you know.
Absolutely. Delighted to meet you, Steve. I had a great opportunity to see you at one of the Oldham Business Awards evening, and I'd like to thank the team for introducing me to you. I was certainly very inspired. It's an honour for me to invite you here. Tell us a bit more about yourself, your education career.
Steve Hill. I'm Oldham born and bred. Live in Oldham currently, and as I say, work in Oldham. So I'm a teacher. I teach year 4 at the moment. I'm deputy head teacher. Yeah. I've been teaching now for 28 years. And it wasn't a career I thought I'd go into when I was younger. I did my A-levels. Wasn't quite sure where to go in life. Wanted to be an area pilot. Wanted to be a police officer, firefighter. Wanted the action. I wasn't quite sure. It was my mum who put me on to teaching, and I'm glad she did because I've been, as I said, teaching 28 years, thoroughly enjoy it, and it's a privilege to be part of these children's lives and to help mould them and guide them, and a big purpose for me as a teacher is to inspire them and inspire them beyond the classroom to believe in themselves and get out and follow their dreams. It's something I talk about regularly with them, dreaming big, having the confidence to dream big and having dreams that excite you and frighten you because they're so big. And the message is that no one has the right to tell you that your dreams are too big, but you've got to believe in it and follow it and make things happen.
And I'm sure the listeners and people who are watching this are going to be really inspired by what you have to say in our discussion today. Brilliant, absolutely hero. And Oldham has a lot to offer. Honestly, I'm not just saying this. I meet a great lots of people, services across the board. And I think we just need to celebrate that diversity.
We do.
Brilliant. In terms of your achievements are concerned, take us through the journey of what you've been doing as an adventurer.
Yeah, so it started about 15 years ago. So as a teacher, as I say, I love being that teacher. But there's a realisation about 15 years ago that I was preaching to the children. I wasn't being authentic. I was telling them to follow their dreams, to come out of the comfort zones, to push the boundaries.
Yes.
And there was a realisation that despite having all these quotes over the classroom wall, like "Can and I will, watch me," dream big, aim high, never give up. Yes. I believe in that, but I felt that at that time I wasn't following what I was preaching.
Sure.
And I felt a bit of a fraud. And I thought, well, rather than be this teacher that sits behind my desk and telling the children to dream big, let's show them about dreaming big.
Brilliant.
And I wanted to show them that through self-belief, hard work and determination and never giving up when things get tough, anything in life is possible. And I wanted to show them through adventures. I wanted to get back out having adventures myself.
Tell us where you've been.
Oh gosh, all over. Well, it started with Kilimanjaro in Africa.
Wow.
So back in 2009, I thought, right, let's get out there, inspire these children, let's push my boundaries, have an adventure, go beyond what I thought I was capable of, and let's see where it takes us. Out into the unknown, if you like, out of my comfort zone. And it took me to Kilimanjaro, to Tanzania for the first time in Africa, and it was an amazing adventure. Summit night was really tough, extremely tough, and there were many moments where you thought the easy option would have been going back to camp, but it was one foot in front of the other, remembering the kids at school, remembering my purpose, why I set up on this adventure in the first place, and I got to the summit, and it was quite an emotional moment. The sun was rising over the African plains, and I found myself at the highest point in Africa, and it was very special. I was very excited to share that with the children.
We are now sharing with you your achievements, and it seems so easy to get there. Yeah, tell us the challenges that you've had. Were you fearful when you entered into the space?
Absolutely. I was going into the unknown. I was going beyond what I thought I was capable of. I was coming out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
But something again I share with the children is when we come out of the comfort zone, magic happens.
Yes.
And we need to do that. We need to not be afraid of it. And I was apprehensive, but I did it. And it was the first step into the unknown, and it just changed my life forever. The direction, the path I took from that onwards. So from Kilimanjaro, it then led on to the next challenge, because I was excited to share it with the children. I got back to school, showed the photographs, showed the journey, the ups and the downs, and they asked the question that's been asked now every year since.
You know,
What's next, sir?
when we talk about cultural understanding,
Yeah.
and for me, I think you have to be in that environment in the country to experience that. So was there a culture shock in looking at the lives of people and their culture, and how did they receive you, and what did you learn from that yourself?
I felt I got the warmest welcome in Africa, and I've been back many times since. You know, the poverty.
Yes.
I wouldn't say shocked me. I knew that it was a poor country, but the poverty, but the positivity, despite that poverty.
Yes.
That having very little, but for me having a lot.
Yeah.
A love of life, appreciation of what was had, the warm welcome, the big smiles, the giggles, the laughter, which I've found every time I've been to Africa. That welcome is always there, and it just inspires you. It gets in your heart.
Besides having that poverty, did you feel that they were strongly connected, and there was a family culture,
a real community,
and they were happy.
They were happy,
and they are happy.
They're happy, and over here, our children, our people have got so much more,
Yes.
are not as happy.
Yes.
Which says a lot. So the community spirit, absolutely, and that coming together and helping each other was in bucket loads, absolutely. And I've been back many times since.
So where did you go next?
So what's next? I went to the Alps to climb Mont Blanc.
Right.
The highest mountain in Western Europe, which then led me to climb Mount Elbrus, the highest mountain in Europe, in Russia. And I have a dream of climbing Everest one day. Not done that as yet, but it's there on the list.
Brilliant.
Then from there, it was off to the jungles of Borneo, to trek through the jungles of Borneo, 200 miles, and climb Mount Kinabalu. And then to the Arctic on a husky expedition, the Sahara Desert, trekking through the Sahara Desert. And then, as I said, that dream of climbing Everest is there, but very expensive. And everything needs to fit in with my school holidays. And I thought, well, the next best thing is I can get to base camp, experience the trek to Everest, the villages, the Himalayas. And then I came across an event called the Mount Everest Marathon. And I thought, right, that's my next challenge. Trekking to base camp, spending 2 nights at Everest Base Camp, and then running the marathon, the highest marathon in the world. Wow. I've never run a marathon at this point in my life, but again, that message was there. Well, yes, so what? I believe in myself, I'm going to work hard, I'm determined, it's going to get tough, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to enjoy the journey and the people that I meet. And people thought I was bonkers, and often it said, you're bonkers. And I said that as a compliment, because you're thinking a little bit differently. It's a challenge, and you're coming out of that comfort zone, and you're thinking a little bit differently, and you're believing in yourself to push those boundaries and to really push what you think people think you're capable of. And it's amazing.
It's that emotional belief, that mental belief that you've got to have.
It's where it starts.
And what about the physical side of things? Because having the time is one thing, but then the physical side is the endurance side. How do you actually build up your physical endurance to do all this?
I train throughout the year. So, a busy teacher, I've got a lot of work to do in the evenings, but I've got to make time and make myself get out. And the children at school hold me accountable. In the mornings, it's, sir, did you get out running last night? You out training? And it's, because I knew you were going to ask me. So I get out training.
Great sport.
3 or 4 times a week, get into the gym and keep myself in good condition. And when I've got a challenge booked, I up my training so that I'm physically in good condition, but mental is the big one. The mental strength to ensure that when it does get tough, that easy option of quitting is not the option you take. It's that, let's keep going forward, one foot in front of the other, and I have a mantra of left foot, right foot, repeat. Keep moving forward. And it works.
So that healthy lifestyle and the nutrition, everything has to go in together, hand in hand, as you said. Brilliant. And I'm sure there'll be lots of more of these podcasts that we're going to do together. Lots of learning to take place, and hopefully people will take up on some of those ideas, which will help their lives
I hope
as
so.
well.
That'd be great.
Brilliant. Besides all these achievements that you've had, you also do a fantastic charity work as well. And you've set up a charity called TML Charity Trust. How did you come, in organising or setting up the charity, and who's involved? Yeah,
so the charity, I've fundraised. So every challenge I've been on, since Kilimanjaro, we raise money for charity.
Right.
I think deep down I always knew I'd like to set my own charity up one day.
Sure.
And that happened after a visit to Uganda. So in 2018, I visited Uganda to take part in the Uganda Marathon, having run a number of ultramarathons before that, through the Amazon jungle and the Arctic wilderness.
Was it hot?
It was very hot. It was very dusty, the red dust of Africa. I went, it was a week of getting involved in community projects and then running the marathon at the end of the week. And it blew me away. Seeing the projects, getting involved in projects within the community, having conversations, meeting the children. And it just horrified me, some of the conversations I had about, you know, in a school, it was we need to build a dormitory because some of our children get attacked on their way to school, and you're hearing these stories. It's like, this shouldn't be happening. It does happen. Sure. And it was, well, what would it cost to build a dormitory? And it was £6,000, you know, and you thought it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Sure. And I thought that then it was a case of, well, yeah, I think it's time to set my own charity up, carry on with the fundraising, but have control over where that money goes. And I came back from Uganda, had a chat with family and friends, Di Haywood and Dave Haywood in particular, and it was a case of, what are you waiting for?
Well, listen,
get it set up.
Because I do run a charity and I do support a lot of other charities as well. And you got our support.
That's very kind.
And
great, thank you.
I think I'm already thinking of ideas. Get you.
That'd be great to get together, yeah.
Banner in the front and let's do some fundraising.
Fabulous.
That'd be great. Have a healthy day out with you.
Healthy day out, that'd be great. Yes, we'd have that. Brilliant. But you know, the mantra is making a difference to the charity, and it's supporting projects in Uganda. So we support 3 schools there now, and a clinic. But more than that, helping families within Oldham, supporting families in Oldham who need a bit of support, need a bit of help, and we react to situations. If help's needed, we'll help in any way we possibly can. And we made hopefully a big difference in lockdown during COVID. We just set the charity up, and there was a need for food shops and welfare calls and prescription pickups for the vulnerable and elderly within the community. Yeah. And over the period of lockdown, we did, as a team of people coming together, over 4,000 food shops, which was pretty phenomenal.
Who's your team of people?
Team of people is anyone who wants to be part of it, that they're welcome. But the core is myself, obviously, Di Haywood's the secretary, Dave's the treasurer.
Excellent.
And we've got a number of close-knit people who help at our events. Children from school come to the events, and for me, it's just growing and growing and growing. It's a massive team. That's what it's called, Team Hill Charitable Trust, and we're all there to make a difference in the world. And it's just fabulous. And to have the children at school involved, and to them to see that they can be a part of making a difference as well, magic. It's what we're here for.
And you keep mentioning children from the school, being a head deputy as well. You know, with so much work that you're doing outside the school. It's getting the time. Yeah. Do you Skype from the school or what?
Far from it. People think, how do you do? I just don't sleep. Teaching's a full-time job. I mean, I've been a deputy head, but I'm a teaching deputy head, so I'm in school, so I'm in class every day. But that's the joy for me, being in class with those children. I stand at the door in the morning. They get a high five as they come in. We have big smiles. It's, sir, guess what? That's the magic of being a teacher.
That's your energy.
The energy, it is. And I need that. But every part of my life is different. So I've got the teaching side, which I love with the children. Yeah. I've got the school work after school. I train. But then there's the charities, the fundraising, the talks. I try and make sure I never say no, and try and cram as much as I possibly can in.
Bless you, Steve.
We can sleep long enough.
Absolutely.
When we get older.
You know, there are so many achievements over the years you've had. The particular one we want to talk about is the ambassador of the Duke of Edinburgh. How did that come about?
Yeah, again, not something I ever expected, like a lot of these things aren't. As I said, making that decision to climb Kilimanjaro all those years ago has led to so many exciting things in my life, which I could never have dreamed of. But yeah, receiving an MBE from the Queen back in 2015 was just surreal. It was just out of this world.
Lifetime opportunity.
Oh my goodness me, absolutely. I received a letter through the post from the Cabinet Office back in November, prior to that, just saying from the Prime Minister, you've been awarded an MBE, do you accept it? And it's like, and you just read in disbelief and put it down and go away and think, I've just read that.
It's like winning a lottery.
Oh, more than that. It really is. And it's like, well, do I accept it? Because I don't want people thinking I think I'm something I'm not. And it wasn't. And then people said, well, no, a lot of people put a lot of work into that behind the scenes. I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, it was announced in the New Year's Honours list. I got a date in March to go down to Buckingham Palace. So family, we went down to London, had a day in London, then to Buckingham Palace. Didn't know at the time who would be presenting the awards. But I've been told by someone who'd received an MBE prior to that, the flag's flying above Buckingham Palace on the day the Queen's in residence. You might get the Queen, but there's no guarantee on the day. So we got into Buckingham Palace and still didn't know. And it didn't matter at the time. Sure. Then I overheard a little old lady speaking to one of the guards, just saying who's presenting, and he leant across and said, "You've got the Queen, ma'am." And it just made it that extra special. And we had our briefing. Family were all sat there in the big ballroom, throne room, and we'd had the briefing. And before I knew it, I was stood in front of the Queen.
Must be very overwhelming.
Oh, I still pinch myself.
Really?
It's to be stood in front of the Queen, and she pinned my medal on, and she looked and smiled at me, and we had a conversation, and I made the Queen laugh as well, which I didn't realise at the time.
Really?
I actually made the Queen laugh, and it's all caught on camera. And the conversation went along the lines of, and she was so well briefed. It was, so you're a teacher, and you do challenges to inspire your pupils. I said, yes, ma'am. And I, it went on, and I said, and in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to the North Pole to run the North Pole Marathon.
Yeah.
And she said, why? I said, to be honest with you, ma'am, I think I'm a bit bonkers. And she just chuckled to herself and said, well, rather you than me. Good luck with everything. Keep up the great work. She shook my hand, and that was me. Done. A moment I'll never forget. Never to be repeated, obviously. And it was just so special. And
what a great lady too.
Oh, she was amazing. It was like speaking to your grandma.
Wow.
For that 5 or 6 minutes,
Brilliant.
there was just the two of us. And it was something I'll never ever forget.
Brilliant. And you're going to put all this together, or have done, in a best-selling book that you've written.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What's it called?
It's called What's Next, Sir? How one teacher's mission to inspire his pupils taught him so much more in return. And again, it's far exceeded anything I could have imagined. I was approached, could be 3 or 4 years ago, by someone who'd heard me do a talk and just said, you need to write a book. You've got a really great story to tell. You should write a book. And I laughed and said, what, me write a book? Not going to happen. Haven't got the time. Wouldn't know where to start. Lockdown came. I was approached again, and I thought, well, there's nothing to lose. Let's run with it. Let's see what where it takes us. Sure. And for 2 years, I wrote the book, and I had advice of this gentleman, and I just looked at it upon an adventure of a different type. I wasn't being able to go to the jungles and chop my way through jungles and run through deserts and climb mountains. Instead of that, I was chopping my way through paragraphs and chapters and working my way through writing a book, and it was an adventure in itself. It was very hard work and time consuming, but it was another amazing adventure, and to have it published was amazing.
Did you feel when you were writing the book and you say, my God, have I done all this?
Yes. Doing the talk the other week, at the Oldham Business Awards, it's when you do the talk and you think, wow, there's so many challenges here. You forget, I forget how many I've done over the years, and there's so many more to come. Well, but it was nice to get them in writing.
We'll be able to put them on as part of our video.
Brilliant.
And that'd be great
there's been so many.
to show what you've achieved, really. So, in terms of what's next, sir?
What's next, sir? Indeed, great question. So my challenges this year, I'm going back to Uganda in May. As I said, to check on the projects that we're supporting, the 3 schools. I've now become part of the Uganda Marathon team, so I've been given the title of the chairman of the International Board of Trustees of the Uganda Marathon, which is a great honour.
Well done.
And to help get the marathon up and running again, because it does bring so much into the community, support-wise.
So would there be a possibility in the future to take some of the residents from Oldham?
I'd love to. I've always said I'd love to set past pupils with me when they get a little bit older to come, and they'd love to come, and I'd love to say, absolutely, that'd be a dream of mine as well.
Excellent.
Because it's life-changing. My life changed when I went to Uganda, and it's in my heart now. It's like a second home, and I go back every year. So that's going to be in May. There's a few friends coming from Oldham to join me on that one.
Support you on that.
And then in August, last year, I ran 14 consecutive marathons. I ran across Costa Rica, and then across Tajikistan in 14 marathons in about 16 days, which was just out of this world, and it was bonkers. But
I'm thinking of you like Forrest Gump,
Yeah, people said that. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah. Don't want to stop. But I wanted something similar this year again. I thought I was a bit greedy last year having 2 challenges, but then I'm looking for this year's challenge. I thought, what, I'm doing 2 again. So this year I'm going to be going to Mongolia and running 5 marathons through Mongolia, and then flying to Guatemala and climbing 5 mountains over 5 days. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Wish you all the best. And,
I appreciate that.
Please come back and report
I'd
us.
love to come and share it with you and tell you all about it. And how many toenails I lose.
I remember. I remember seeing one of your shoes as well, which had an opening.
A big rip. That was from the Amazon jungle. Yeah, it was a low point.
It was, and the way your feet has been hampered.
Yeah, I think I've lost 10 toenails over the few years. They've grown back, so they're all
brilliant.
And I do keep them in a little Ziploc bag in class, which is a bit sad really, but the kids quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
And often say, "Sir, can we see your toenails?" A bit random, but yeah.
What message would you like to give to our listeners and viewers?
The message I'd like to give to anybody who's willing to listen is that we need to dream big. We need to have big dreams. We need to have exciting dreams and dreams that frighten us because they're so big. And we need to remember that nobody in the world has the right to tell us that our dreams are too big. We've got to believe in ourselves. And through doing these challenges, I hope I'm saying through self-belief, hard work, you're going to have to work hard for these dreams. Believe in yourself to begin with. Work hard. Be determined. Enjoy the journey. It's going to get tough at times. You're going to get setbacks. See, the setbacks are just learning curves. Part of the journey. Enjoy the setbacks as much as the journey. Don't give in when things get tough. And enjoy that journey.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. And ban the word can't. Take that word can't out of your vocabulary. I can and I will. Just watch me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Steve. It's a pleasure having you here. What do you think of our setup?
Fabulous. Very impressed. I'd love to bring some of the children to have a go at, because there's so much technology, so much. Yeah. It's what the world's about. Podcasts, absolutely. The music. Very impressed. And the work that you're doing yourselves, keep up the great work, making a massive difference for the young people of Oldham.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this unique discussion and an opportunity with Steve as well. I think he's partly called Steve Wonder. Well, actually, wonderful. And hope that you have been inspired, and definitely get in touch with Steve. He's got a website which we'll put up on the screen, and is also available on social media like LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. He's everywhere. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless. Bye-bye.